Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Today with BEB. My name is Jeff Niebaum, and I'm with your Better Business Bureau. On today's discussion, we are going to start a new leadership series on how do you show employees, vendors, and customers that you are worthy of their trust and confidence. And today's topic is something that the Better Business Bureau knows a little bit about for being around for over 100 years, and that is trust. And for over 100 years, our mission has been marketplace trust and promoting trust where businesses and consumers can simply trust each other. To help me out with this, I've brought my friend Eve McLean, who is the Director of Education for the Business Ethics Alliance, who they know a little bit about trust and ethics. So Eve, it's great to see you again.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be back and really excited to talk about this topic.
And before we jump into the topic, we have to say congratulations to you because you have been officially certified by the Bentley School of Ethics to teach business ethics, which is a pretty good big deal, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I have a background strong in leadership and in ethics, and this is one of those kind of incredible moments and opportunities when you get the chance to actually go to Bentley School of Ethics and look at different ways that you can make ethics education interesting and impactful, and really, really pleased to have participated and really pleased to have the certificate.
Well, again, congratulations. That's such a huge achievement and huge honor.
Thank you.
And we're glad that you're here. And so going into this, we have some pretty good presence for this topic, I would think.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, Eve, with all the craziness in the world right now and everyone being cautious, there's a lot of thoughts created from the environment that we are in that make us stop and think. From a consumer's perspective, they might say, well, how do I hire a business? Where do I turn to? Employees might be wondering if they have a job next week. And businesses are simply fighting for survival. More than ever, in my opinion, and hopefully you'll agree with me, trust is the biggest factor right now in our daily lives. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it definitely is one of our big emphasis and focuses right now is how to be trusted and how to be worthy of people's trust. So
is it in the world today enough to say that you are trustworthy?
Yeah, no. So being trustworthy does start from within, right? So as an organization and as individual people, we come to the table with that commitment that we are going to be worthy of somebody's trust. But if you look at when you're trying to figure out where am I going to work, who do I want to work for, who do I want to do business with, who do I want to partner with, this is where we need to see more than words, we need to see actions, and more than intent, we need to see outcome. Mm-hmm. So it's the right place to start is within, but you have to take it to the next level where people can actually see that you are trustworthy. And especially right now, when a lot of people themselves are trying to struggle with, how do I know if somebody's being opportunistic or if they truly are a trustworthy individual?
That's a great point right there. That kind of leads me into my next point of how companies right now and individuals need to focus not only on the short term, their goals, but also long term, because short term goals and what is happening right now can make long-term impacts. Yeah. And the biggest impact it has, in my opinion, is reputation. So could you talk a little bit about how a company's reputation will be reflected more than ever after this crisis ends?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we're in the midst of crisis, a lot of times when we're making decisions, we have this thing called an amygdala hijack, where when we're under stress, we get into a fight or flight situation. And sometimes that can alter our thinking. And we can find ourselves in a place that says survival at all costs. Mm-hmm. Most people don't wake up with that intent. right? They wake up with the intent that I'm going to run an ethical company, an ethical business, and I'm going to be an ethical person. But when you put the pressure on and the pressure on and the pressure on, sometimes we find ourselves making choices and decisions that aren't in line with the people that we are, who we are. And that is often caused through an amygdala hijack, and sometimes caused through a series of unfortunate decisions along the way. So what does that mean? It means people are going to see it. Our reputation is going to count. It's going to be impacted over time. So when we're making these decisions one after another, when you're talking to your employees and you're continuously not exhibiting trustworthy behavior, then your reputation becomes not trustworthy. If you're talking with the community, if you're talking with your vendors, any of your stakeholders, it's when you do these little actions over and over again that it actually alters your reputation. But the flip side is also accurate and true, which is when you are intentional about being trustworthy and you do these little steps over and over again, you gain a reputation of trustworthiness. In a 2010 article, The Good, the Bad, and the Trustworthy, published in Strategy and Business magazines, they really focus on that trustworthiness is a competitive advantage, and it involves intentionality. You have to actually set out to build a trustworthy reputation. And I'm just going to read you a quote, if it's okay here. They say, being a reputation-driven company is painstaking endeavor in which you pay as much attention to maintaining transparency and living up to your public promises as you do in developing the next great product. So not only does reputation count, you have to be intentional with it.
Great points there. And again, it goes back to those short-term versus long-term goals and impacts. And if you think you are trustworthy, if you are saying it, well, then you got to live up to it, just like you said, and that will make a huge long-term impact on not only your customers, but how they view you in the community, how your employees view you as well. And so those were some great points. So trustworthiness, we have trustworthiness.
Yeah.
How do we kind of implement that into
right.
our reputation and our company?
Right. So how do we take it from the words to the action component? And there was a great study published in 2002 in Business Ethics about a set of researchers that looked at how do you build a trust relationship in the construction industry. So we took a look at their study and extrapolated out of there some techniques to build this. And I love that it was the construction industry, because sometimes that industry can get a bad reputation. So they were intentional about saying, how do we build the trust in this relationship? So if we extrapolate from there, we get what we call the 3 T's, which number 1 is be truthful. And being truthful is about demonstrating honesty and integrity. And it's about being willing to forsake all forms of deception. The next step is be transparent. That's about communicating openly and with frankness. It's about sharing respect, and it's about encouraging reciprocity. And then the third one is be truthful, be true. And that's about demonstrating reliability as a partner by keeping promises, no matter how small or trivial. And when I say partner, we're talking any of those stakeholders. We're talking your employees, we're talking your vendors, we're talking any of them. Fairly share the benefits or gains that you have, and then do not impose unreasonable demands. That actually falls into this trustworthy component. And we have specific details that goes into each one of those, which I think we'll be doing some follow-up conversations on.
Yes, and we will be diving into those more in depth into those 3 T's in our next 3 parts. I mean, great points. It's funny how the most simplistic ethical tips and tricks and tendencies can make a huge impact. I mean,
Absolutely.
Trust. That's something we learned as kids. And if you, with your best friend, you have to trust them. With the business you want to do business with, you have to trust them. If you're an employee within your business, you have to trust your own employees. You have to trust your management. You have to trust your leadership. So excellent points.
And just one really good thing to share is that we talk long times about reputation, and we talk about trust, and we say that it takes a long time to build. Um, it can take time to build, but the funny thing is that as humans, we're wired to offer trust up front. So you get on a plane and you trust that the machine is going to work. You trust that the pilot's going to get you where you need to go. We're wired to be trusting. So really the key here is how do we intentionally reinforce that wiring? How do we intentionally reinforce that we are trustworthy? And then how are we intentional about not losing that trust?
I like that, intentional on not losing it, because unfortunately in today's world of fast-paced business, social media, you can lose that trust within a second. And so you always have to uphold your reputation and trust more than anything, in your business and in your personal life as well.
Yep. Yep.
So thank you so much, Eve, for another great conversation. Like I said, it's fun to talk about ethics.
I love it. It's a great topic.
And again, the simplest things can make the biggest impact.
Yeah.
So what, again, in personal lives or business. So
Absolutely.
Thank you again. Congratulations one more time. That is awesome. And thank you to you for tuning in to Today with BB. Join us next time for part 2 of our leadership series, where we will talk about truthfulness, one of those 3 T's. Thank you for tuning in again. I'm Jeff Niebaum. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy.